Chandra, Jaya Gora Chandra, Jaya Gora Chandra. Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Nrsimha Dev. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Anantalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramansa Pariprajakachaja Astutara Sacha Shishimad Shila Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pacharnani Vishesha Sunivari Paschatya Vishta. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 12, text number 20. Bhavanatharsin mayam vai, Bhavanatharsin mayam vai, Bhavanatharsin mayam vai, Bhavanatharsin mayam vai. Vaishnavim Janamohinim, Vaishnavim Janamohinim, Vaishnavim Janamohinim. Yadvihayasuram bhavam, Vihayasuram bhavam, Yadvihayasuram bhavam, Vihayasuram bhavam. Mahapurushatam gataha, Mahapurushatam gataha, Mahapurushatam gataha, Purushatam gataha. Bhavam antarsin mayam vai, antarsin mayam vai, Vaishnavim janamohinim. Yad vihayasuram bhavam, Mahapurushatam gataha. Please chant. Bhavanatarsin mayam vai, Vaishnavim janamohinim. Vihayasuram bhavam, Mahapurushatam gataha. Janamohinim Yadvihayasuram Mahapurushatam Gataha. Vaishnavis. Vatashin Mayambar Thank you. Bhavan, your good self, Atashit, has surmounted Mayam, the illusory energy, Vai, indeed, Vaishnavim, of Lord Vishnu, Maha Jana Mohinaha Mohinim, which deludes the mass of people. Yet, since Vihaya, giving up, Asuram, of the demons, Pavam, the mentality, Mahapurushatam, the position of an exalted devotee, Gataha, obtained. Translation: you have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. Please repeat. You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Lord Vishnu is the Mahapurusha. Therefore, one who becomes a Vaishnava attains the position of a Mahapurusha. This position was attained by Maharaj Parikshit. It is said in the Padma Purana that the distinction between a demigod and a demon is that a demigod is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, whereas a demon is just the opposite. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asuras Tad Viparyaya. Vritrasura was considered a demon, but actually he was more than qualified as a devotee, or Mahapurushya. If one can somehow becomes a devotee of the Supreme Lord, whatever his position, he can be brought to the position of a perfect person. This is possible if an unalloyed devotee tries to serve the Lord by delivering him in this way. Therefore, Sukadev Goswami says in Srimad Bhagavatam 2:4-18, Kirata hunandra palinda pulkasa abira sumba yavana kasadayaha yenyecha papa yadapashraya sudyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha. Kiratas, Hunas, Andras, Pulindas, Pulkasas, Abiras, Sumbas, Yavanas, and other members of the Kasa races, and even others addicted to sinful acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord, for He is the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. Anyone can be purified if he takes shelter of a pure devotee and molds his character according to the pure devotee's direction. Thus, even if one is a Kirata, Andra, Pulinda, or whatever, he can be purified and elevated to the position of a Mahapurushya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Sapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangolam Gayate Girim Yat Kripastamahang Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. Even though I'm unwilling, the devotees sent forth the Prahlad Maharaj of the Bhakti Center, Gopala Champu, so I was unable to refuse. So thank you very much. This is a wonderful verse. It's a wonderful directive for all of us. First of all, the point that's being made in the latter part of the purport is that all of these unqualified people, ourselves actually, this verse, Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pokasa, basically it's listing our ancestry. It's the Greeks, the Turks, the everything, you know. All of these unqualified people, they have access if they can take shelter of the devotees of the Lord. So actually we have no access to this great literature. We have no right to be reading it. So why are we reading it? Because Srila Prabhupada has given us access. So this is a really important point. And yeah. So then here we have Lord Indra is speaking. And actually what's so interesting in this verse is Lord Indra is really speaking in the mood of a disciple. He's accepting Vritrasura now, really as his guru, as his mentor, because he's realizing, even though he's the so-called demigod, right? And Vritrasura is the so-called demon, now he's hearing from Vritrasura in a mood of repentance and in a mood of humility. So we also have to come to this place, right? We also have to learn this kind of discernment. First of all, I wanted to say that the verse itself, the verse itself reminds me of a very, very important verse that the prayer, the song of the Avanti Brahman that's given in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's a certain verse in that series of beautiful prayers. This is chapter 23, if you'd like to look it up. But there's a certain prayer that, Dhanadhar Swami, am I right? This is the prayer that sannyasis chant when they take sannyas. This is part of their sannyas vow. So the translation of that important and beautiful verse, this is, if you'd like to, for those who are note takers, it's Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto of chapter 23, verse number 57. So the verse says, I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nescience by being firmly fixed in service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This, and then it goes on that this path has been approved by the realized previous acharyas. So this determination, this is part of the sannyas vow, that I shall cross over the insurmountable energy. So I believe this verse is giving us a directive that we need to learn discernment, because otherwise we only see the coat of the person, we only see the dress, we only see the externals. But in this verse, we're being given a directive to see the internal mentality. What is the mentality of the person? So this verse is another one of those many, many verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a role reversal, an example of role reversal, where the great demigod, Lord Indra, the king of heaven, right? He's big. So he has to come down and bow at the feet of the so-called demon, right? So, or we have what's another example? Someone give me another example in Srimad Bhagavatam where there's a role reversal. Anyone think of anything? I'll give you another example, like the wives of the Brahmins, the Yagnapatis, right? Their Brahmins were so aristocratic, so cultured, so literate. They knew all the Vedas, but their illiterate wives knew that, when Krishna and Balaram come and ask, you give, right? So what's another example? Yes?
Again, with Lord Indra, he had to go to the Suravi cow and ask Suravi to go with him to see Krishna after he had offended Krishna.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What's another example? Yeah, his wives were begging for his salvation, right? So many examples given in Srimad Bhagavatam. The gopis, the greatest, in our tradition, we understand the gopis are the greatest devotees of Krishna. So the great Uddhava, who is a disciple of Brihaspati, imagine what it means to be a direct disciple of Brihaspati. He has to go and learn what is pure devotion from the illiterate cowherd maidens of Vrindavan who, are just village girls. So all these examples given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we also have this directive. We need to learn to see the heart, to see the inside. We need to learn this discernment. There's a saying from Chanakya Pandit. One should accept gold from a filthy place. One should accept a qualified wife, even if she comes from a low family. Anybody remember the rest? Take good advice even from a fool. And there's one more, I think, right? Can't remember. But, that reminds me of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada had a stroke, it was here in New York. It was a holiday weekend, and the devotees, all these young brahmacharis, 20-year-old brahmacharis, they didn't know what to do. They couldn't find a doctor. They couldn't find medical help. Everyone was away on vacation. Finally, they found some old Jewish doctor who came and saw these bunch of guys sleeping on the floor. He couldn't figure out what was going on. And, they needed the advice of a doctor, right? And so this doctor gave this advice. He said, well, first of all, they said, what's wrong? What's wrong? They're trying to understand. First of all, he said, well, the old man prays too much. But then he said that he should walk. He should walk every day. So Prabhupada took this instruction, even though it was coming from this really quite ignorant doctor, who first of all gave a very bad instruction. He prays too much, right? We're going to stop praying? No. But then he said he needs to walk. So Prabhupada took that, and he took that as a lifelong instruction. There's another example of that. Srila Prabhupada was told by a librarian once that, people throw magazines away. He was writing his Back to Godhead and distributing it in Delhi with great difficulty. Everyone was in their tea stalls. Prabhupada's trying to distribute his magazine. But this librarian told him, people throw magazines away, write books. So he began writing books. People save books, So, this principle of taking good advice. Even when Prabhupada was very, very sick in Vrindavan, I was there, and he couldn't walk. He was just starting to get better, but he wanted to go on his walk. So he said, today we will take our walk sitting down. So they went off to a little clearing in the forest and sat. But he took that as a lifetime instruction. So this idea of looking to see who is a demon, who is a devotee, I think we have to look within ourselves. I believe that we tend to read Prabhupada's books and we hear these words like karmi, demon, devotee, and we tend to read them and think, yeah, devotee, that's me. And demon, that's, maybe my mother or someone else, someone who, but just like this word jihad, is being misused in the modern age. It's meant to be to look for the false ego within ourselves and to reject, to overcome that false dictator within the heart. So we have to, in ISKCON also, look for that inner jihad and look for those demoniac tendencies within myself. The great example of Vritrasura is that he is a pure devotee on the inside. On the outside, he appears to be a demon. We are trying to be devotees. We try to look, the tilak, the kantimala, right? We try to look like devotees, but in the inside, maybe we have many demoniac tendencies. So he's a great acharya for us. So we have to try to become that pure devotee within. And you know how they have that expression, when you point a finger to someone else, there's all these other fingers pointing back at you. I remember this one story in New York. One of my friends, when I was living in the temple at Henry Street, one of my friends, he took his little daughter to see his mother, his mother, so the little child's grandmother, and the mother was smoking cigarettes and blowing smoke out of her nose. And so the little child said, "Daddy, is Grandma a dragon? Or is she a demon? Is she a dragon?" You know, so we have to be so careful. I don't know if you've heard me tell this story before. I'm fond of telling this story. When my son Gauravani was in Gurukula in Gitanagari, there were some very kind neighbors who were gracious enough to let all the little boys from the Gurukula swim in there on their property at their swimming hole. And so all our little kids were swimming there, and the people who owned the property, their kids were swimming there too. And one of our little boys said, "Can we go find somewhere else to swim? Because I don't want to swim with karmis." How embarrassing that was. You know, so just imagine when we throw around these words, we have to be so careful. So these words need to be eliminated from our vocabulary, even when we read them in Srila Prabhupada's books. When Prabhupada uses the word karmi, I have to really look at myself. A karmi means someone who's working out of fruitive desire. I'm working out of fruitive desire. My devotion is not pure. So we have to really, look at the man or the woman in the mirror, right? We have to look at that person in the mirror and say, "Hey, that's me." The demon, that's me. The karmi, that's me. A devotee, as Dandadhar Swami is very fond of pointing out, that devotion means pure devotion. There's a beautiful story of Hridayananda Maharaj when he wrote a poem for Srila Prabhupada, and at the end of the poem, he says, "Your devotee is praying to you, your devotee is calling to you." And Prabhupada appreciated the poem, but he corrected the last line. He said, "You should say, your servant is begging, not your devotee, because a devotee is not an ordinary thing." So we have to understand this. We have to be very careful. We should just cross it out of our vocabulary. Karmi, demon. The person we're calling a demon, someone you're calling a demon might be your own child's guru in 10 years. Who are we? What do we know? We have to learn this internal discernment to see the heart and to see the dirt within our own hearts. People don't like the word karmi, demon. It's pejorative. It's demeaning. Even the word preaching. Who wants to be preached to? Prabhupada uses the word preaching all the time. Do you want to be preached to? People don't want it. What's that song from Madonna? "Papa Don't Preach." Right? Know that song? Yeah, so nobody wants to be preached to. People want to be heard. They want to be seen. And I think, again, Dandadhar Swami made a very beautiful point in his, as always, brilliant class yesterday. He said, he was talking about the beautiful culture of the Bhakti Center, that he said, people are not threatened by the conversion experience at the Bhakti Center. So why do you think that is? Can you tell me? What is it? What's the magic going on here? Why do you think people are here at the Bhakti Center are not threatened by a conversion experience? Very good. There's not a sharing, welcoming, right? Giving, right? Appreciating. Vaisheshika Prabhu is speaking so beautifully about appreciation. Yes, Ladini? Right. We see them as beautiful. We value them. People want to be heard. People want to be seen. This is community. These are the qualities of real community. When people feel heard, they feel seen for who they are, accepted for who they are. This is beautiful community. Yes, Prabhu. Building relationships with people and building relationships with people and building community. Thank you very much. Yeah, have you ever heard the saying, or maybe your mother used to say this to your father? What that boy needs is a good talking to. Talk to him, But what people really need is a good listening to. That's what we all need, a good listening to. And that's how people's hearts open like lotuses. Your father used to say that? Arjuna's laughing. But yeah, that's what we need. We need to be heard. We need to be loved. What is everyone seeking? Radhanath Swami so often says, people want to love and to be loved. Even in every sphere of life, this is what we're seeking. I was sitting with Anna yesterday. We were watching a dog digging in the garbage, and I was saying to her, what's he seeking? He's seeking he's looking in the garbage, but he's really looking for his beloved, right? We're looking for, where is my beloved? Where is my beloved? So Radhanath Swami told a funny story when we were away at our Bhakti Center board meeting retreat. He was talking about how he was living at New Vrindavan. It's a long story, won't tell you the whole thing, but so his father wanted him to come visit. And so the leader of that community was not letting Radhanath Swami, not Swami yet, he wasn't letting him go visit his father. So finally his father kept asking him, please let my son come and visit just for a few days. I haven't seen him in so long. And so finally the leader of the community decided, all right, if he buys a cow for New Vrindavan, we'll let him go and visit if his father buys a cow for New Vrindavan, we'll let him go. So his father said, well, but I live in Chicago. I don't know how to buy a cow. And so then the leader of the community said, well, all right, he can go if you donate $100 for every day he's there with you. So what do you think the father must have been thinking? What kind of leadership is this? What's the impression that comes in the father's heart? I always notice Ananda Vrindavan, who's our temple president in Washington, D.C., she has so much faith in Krishna when some wonderful devotee like Champak Lata is leaving to come to the Bhakti Center. Ananda's like, Hari Bol, do well, be blessed. Someone else will come. It's such an amazing consciousness that to have that faith in Krishna, to not be so controlling. I'm the controller, even in the mood of a leader. So we're all leaders in a sense, right? We're supposed to be looking at that inner jihad. And what about this appreciation? It's so important. I was giving a class at the Heart of Yoga retreat a few days last week, and I was quoting from Bhaktitirtha Swami's 4 principles of community building, which are beautiful. The first one is treat everyone as though the success of your spiritual life depends on your interactions with them. Imagine that. Every person you meet in the hall. Virabhadra does this. You meet him on the stairs and he's, fully present. You don't know what he's running off to, but he's fully present with you, right? Treat everyone as though the success of your spiritual life depends on that interaction. The second one is treat everyone the way you would treat the person you love the most. So beautiful. Imagine that. You have your, Vaishnav comes and everyone's running around because it's so special when it's here. Imagine if we treated every single person who walked in the door like that, right? And then the third one is try to see if there's a problem, a confrontation, a relationship. Try to see how it's your fault. See how it could be your fault, first of all. So when I raise this point, let me tell you the last one. There are 4. I'll tell you the last one also. The last one is that because the people you're with right now, the people in your life may very likely be the ones who are there with you at the moment of your death. So, if you're like being really rude and unkind to your brother brahmacharis, you know, these are the guys who are going to try to help you at the time of death, help you remember Krishna, right? So we need each other. So the reason I'm mentioning this, it's interesting. So that third one, try to see things as your fault first, confrontations. How could it be my fault first? When I mentioned this, Spring was there, and she said, but we can't accept abuse. And it was true and right. And Bhakti Tirtha Swami would have stood up for that point also. We can never accept abuse, never accept ourselves to accept an abusive situation. And then I mentioned these 4 principles that Chaitanya Charan mentions. That, I love this, he says, when we're in a confrontational situation, he says, first of all, tolerate. Second of all, see what you can do to mitigate. The third one is, immigrate. Yeah, tolerate. Wait, am I missing one? Wait, no, I'm coming to that. So he says tolerate, mitigate, or if those don't work, immigrate, right? So one of the yoga teachers, she has a yoga studio in Philadelphia. I think that's so brilliant. You know, in other words, get yourself out of the situation if all those things don't work, or make sure that person gets out of the building if you're at reception, right? You're trying, it's not working, this person is dangerous. You know, you call Amrit, or you call someone, you make sure that person's out of the building. But so one of the people in this workshop said something very wise. She is a yoga teacher, she's here in Manhattan. She said, but shouldn't there be something before tolerate? Which was really wise. And then one of the other yoga teachers who was there said, appreciate. And I thought it was so brilliant. You know, before tolerate, we must appreciate. And this was Vaisestika's brilliant first point of his talk the other night, that appreciation, how if we can live in that place of appreciation, our whole worldview will shift. And he quoted Voltaire that appreciation is such a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. So imagine if we were all appreciating each other, catching each other doing it right. You know, you see someone in the ashram, maybe he sleeps in every single day, but one morning he gets up, you go, Prabhu, I'm so happy to see you at 4:30 in the morning at Ibol, you know. Catch people doing it right. This is the way to raise children. This is the way to raise brahmacharis. It's the way to raise Vaishnavis. It's the way to uplift ourselves, you know. Catch myself doing it right, even if I do it wrong so often. And then another point on appreciation is that when we're awake, you know, this is real Krishna consciousness. Once Radhanath Swami said that love is not possible without gratitude. So when we can live, if that can be my baseline, my foundational consciousness, my whole world will explode. If I can actually taste the presence of Krishna every time I drink water, if I can see Krishna in the sun and the moon, you know, how beautiful we will live in a constant state of amazement and joy, right? So I'd like to open up for questions if anyone has any thoughts on these points. Yes, Adipurush.
Martial arts teacher sent Duryodhana and said, go find someone who's better than you. He sent Yudhisthira. He said, go find someone who's lesser than you. And Duryodhana came back and said, I couldn't find anybody better than me. You know, and then at the end of the day, Yudhisthira came back and said, I couldn't find anybody lower than me. So it says that, you know, we pray for somebody, not so much to change them. We're asking Krishna to change us so that we treat them properly.
Yes.
And the gopis were very, very, very exalted. And as soon as they came a little bit proud about what great devotees we were, Krishna
Beautiful.
left. Krishna left.
This is the instruction of Raghunath Das Goswami. He says in his Manas Siksha, very first instruction, instructions to the mind, first instruction, give up pride. That is step number 1. Until we can give up pride, we haven't even taken the first step. So once I heard Srila Prabhupada say something amazing in a lecture. I was listening to this recorded lecture. He said, we are hearing so much preach, preach, preach. He said, but they do not know. They must be empowered to preach. So we think I'm a big preacher, but first we have to get that blessing by giving up pride, by taking the first step, by seeing the jihad within myself. And then the Srila Prabhupada, the great acharyas, perhaps they may be so kind as to bless me that maybe I can say something to turn a person's heart, Somebody else. You had a turn.
We know that we're trying to please Krishna, ultimately.
Beautiful.
And Yogi Purush Prabhu told us that his father told him, the first sign of intelligence is humility.
Beautiful.
We're trying to please Krishna. Krishna's pleased that we're thinking, let me serve this person, let me care for this person.
Beautiful.
And not just doing it to be a good person, but
Right.
to please Krishna.
Right. Thank you so much. Who else? Somebody else has a reflection or a question or a thought or realization. What do you think? Yes, Prabhu.
So we were talking about how we should treat everyone with like the utmost respect. You give the example when Vaishya Shekhar Prabhu is here, everyone's like that, and if we were like that with everyone, it'd be so great. And also in the beginning, you were touching on the point about we call them karmis, but then karmi means someone who's acting fruitively or not purely, and so it also could apply to many of us. And so when in Krishna consciousness, when we're trying to go through getting rid of pride and things like that, is there room for like Bhakti Saranta would say, like my greatest friend is actually the one who's pointing out those things in me that I can't see that I need to get help with. So in a community, in a Krishna conscious community, where does that come in? Because that's also kind of delicate, because if someone has too much false ego and you try to tell them something about it, or someone tries to tell them it'll hurt them, they won't be able to take it. But
First become a friend.
Or they might become too proud if you're always glorifying them, I don't know.
Right. First become a friend. First become an intimate friend. And when you have an intimate friend, these are the three types of association. To have a mentor, someone I look up to, someone who can instruct me. Pure association, brothers, sisters who I can share with. And then always reaching out to help someone who is less fortunate, right? Those are the three sacred types of association. So if I want to instruct someone, first I have to become an intimate friend. And then they may turn to you, with a heart full of love, with a heart full of question, and say, please help me. I'm trying to advance on the path, but what am I doing wrong? But I think the example of the great devotees in the ISKCON society is that they're very strict with themselves and very liberal and lenient with others, I think that's the example. So you have to become a very, very dear trusted friend to be able to instruct. Or if you're in the role of a mentor, then that may be a different thing. But that intimacy, that trust has to be there. We're so quick to judge. I remember once when I was living in the temple in Boston, one lady cooked for Prabhupada, and she must have salted the sabji twice. She must have forgotten and put salt twice. So the sabji was inedible. And Prabhupada didn't say anything. And then when the disciples got the remnants, everyone could see that the sabji was inedible, and Prabhupada hadn't said anything. Actually, this lady was quite proud. She was quite proud, and Prabhupada would handle her with kid gloves, as they say. And so the following day, she corrected what she'd done, and she made the sabji so nicely. And Prabhupada said, the second day, he said, oh, the sabji is so nice. Yesterday it was a little salty. It was just so expertly handled with so much love to just open up. Because the point is the heart, our hearts have to open. We don't want to say something or do something that will close the heart, right? My husband is the ISKCON communications director, and he always talks about how we have to look for people's needs, interests, and concerns. This is a principle of communication. So when you're distributing books, you guys are all expert. You see, where's a little hook? How can I catch the interest of this person? Where's some resonance, right? Where are the needs, interests, and concerns? So if you throw around this word demons or karmis, or it's so destructive. Even preach. I'm preaching to you. I'm going to tell you. We have to just eliminate those words. I want to hear from you. How can I serve you? And this is discernment. We read these words in Prabhupada's books, but we have to discern how are we going to deliver the instructions and the teachings of Prabhupada for the postmodern world in New York City on the Lower East Side or the rest of the world. What else? Anybody have thoughts, realizations, reflections? Yes.
Just because I don't want to hear anyone criticize you, sometimes you might hear people, I mean, I agree with what you're saying in terms of that we should eliminate the words karmi, demon, preaching. But some people might say, well, Prabhupada used those words, and how dare you say that we should do it differently than Prabhupada, you know?
Right.
So can you please respond to that?
We have our own extremism in ISKCON. And sometimes if you have nothing to do, if you don't have any service, you can't find a garland to make or a floor to sweep, you can sit on the computer and read all about it, you know? So this is toxic to the consciousness. Extremism is toxic to the consciousness, you know? And we have to really, if we're going to be delivering Prabhupada's mission, delivering Prabhupada's words, we have to learn how to open the hearts. And Prabhupada was expert at time, place, and circumstance. I'll tell you another little story. Prabhupada he would discern the mentality of a person asking a question, and he would answer according to the mentality of the person. I heard him speak at Harvard University, and one of the great student scholars at Harvard was saying, what is the meaning of the words of the Hare Krishna mantra? Very proud. And Prabhupada he said, you are a scholar. These are proper nouns. Just like my name is Swami Bhaktivedanta, there is no translation for a proper noun. That's how he responded, right? And then someone else asked Prabhupada with a different mentality, what does Hare Krishna mean when we're chanting? How should I understand the words? Prabhupada, to that question, Prabhupada said, it means, oh my friend, oh my friend, oh my friend. So we have to learn this discernment. We have to discern how to teach Prabhupada's mission according to time, place, and circumstance, according to today. And you know, another point is that Prabhupada really, really enjoyed and appreciated his disciples who could spar with him a little bit on points. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Ladini's guru, Rameshwar, who gives class here sometimes. Prabhupada had so much fun with them, because if he said something, they would say, well, Prabhupada, what about this? Because they were brilliant people, not that any, jack on the street can come and argue with Prabhupada, but they would spar with him and say, is this appropriate for now? Sometimes Prabhupada would have an idea and then he would throw it out if it didn't work. Pick up something else, judge a thing by its results. What else? Somebody else have a thought? Something I've said disturbed them? Adi already had a chance. Someone else. What did I say that was disturbing? Yes, Arjuna.
In 1976 in Honolulu, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that, so I have written so many things and I have said so many things, now you take this and put it in your own words.
Beautiful.
So,
that
says a lot.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I was at Gita Nagari once and someone raised a question. She said, why are all these people writing all these books? We should all read Prabhupada's books. And Rabindranath Swarup Prabhu was there and he said, actually, Prabhupada said, you should all write books to explain these books. It was such a beautiful answer. I was so glad he said that, So, time, place, and circumstance according to the mentality, understanding the mentality of different people. So important. Yes?
I was just thinking on the topic of this pride and entitlement, sometimes we can deal with that and flip to the other side, which is kind of the, how to say it?
Disempowered, false humility.
Disempowered, false humility, things like that, like unworthiness. We can kind of deal with it in that way. So how do we kind of approach that in the right mood?
I think our tradition answers it so perfectly by this achintya beda beda tattva. Prabhupada says in the purport to the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that if we understand this achintya beda beda tattva, that we're simultaneously one and different from Krishna, all the various miseries, adibautic, adidaivik, adiatmic miseries can be destroyed. So what does he mean by that? I believe that what he means by that is that, first of all, know that we are sacred, we are worthy, we're sacred. We have the same quality as Krishna, eternity, knowledge, joy, bliss. This is my intrinsic quality, but yet I'm so small. I have to take shelter, I have to lean in. My nature is tatastha. I have to lean in to Krishna, to the light, to the big fire, so that my little anarthas will be burnt. So those two things together really answers it. And Prabhupada says this is the source of conquering all the miseries of life. When we know I'm sacred, I'm worthy, but I'm so small. I need to lean into the shelter of Lord Krishna. Is that helpful? I think, yes. Sorry, I didn't see the humble Pujari was very humble, and I didn't see him. Jai Shishi Radha Muralidhara.
Go Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Vando muy savadana mate. Vando muy savadana mate. Jahar prasade bhai bhava toriya jai. Jahara prasade bhai bhava toriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Koriya Kya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte koriya kya. Na kori ho mane asha. Har na kori ho mane asha. श्री गुरु चरणे राती ऐसे उत्तमा गति श्री गुरु चरणे राती ऐसे उत्तमा गति जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहारा चरित वेद गाय जहारा चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनरा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया ए बेजाज विश्व त्रिभुवाना ए बेजाज विश्व त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा नमो Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Prabhupada Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Vivo. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Murlidhar Radhe Jaya Radha Murlidhar Radhe Jaya Gaura Chandra Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki, Namacharya Shri Dasa ki, Prantika Hoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Vrindam Dham ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Purushottam Shakti ki, Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yaga ki, Nitai Gaur Brahmanande. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious Lord's feet of Shri Guru Shri Gauranga.